Android 17 is officially here, and according to MKBHD's team, it might actually be the greatest Android release of all time. But it's not because of some massive AI redesign. It's because Google finally fixed a problem that has been torturing Pixel users for a literal decade.
Google Android 17 is out, and it is the greatest Android release of all time.
Oh. Wow.
I'm calling it now.
Oh. Wow.
At a glance is gone.
If you've owned a Google Pixel phone anywhere from the Pixel 2 all the way to the Pixel 9, you know exactly what the at-a-glance widget is. And for 10 years, Google completely locked it. You couldn't move it, you couldn't resize it, and you couldn't
removed it this morning, and the weight off my shoulders is freeing. I am a free man.
Think about why this matters. Google is finally letting go of its strict control over the Pixel UI.
For those
Everything
who
is
don't
right
know.
in the world. At a glance is sayonara.
So this was the widget
happy.
that was permanently on every Pixel's homepage for the past decade or
Not
so?
that long,
How long has that been?
Letting us clear up our home screen is only half the battle. What is Google doing with all that newly freed up real estate? That brings us to David's favorite feature.
Pretty long.
It's been, feels like a decade.
At least 4 or 5
Eternity
years.
is what
Yeah.
it feels like.
Historically, multi-window multitasking on mobile devices has felt incredibly rigid. You split the screen in half, or you struggle with awkward picture-in-picture boxes that block your view. Android 17 introduces physics-based floating bubbles that glide around seamlessly. On larger displays like the Pixel Fold, this new bubble bar lets you dock up to 4 persistent apps at the bottom of your screen, mimicking a true desktop experience.
And you could just did anything crazy happen? Any fireworks show up, or you just like removed it and it just went away and that was it?
I was like looking through all the changes, and then I forgot, like, wait, the first thing I was excited about this betas ago was at a glance.
Think about why this matters. Google is finally letting go of its strict control over the Pixel UI. For years, they tried to force a specific user experience, much like Apple does with iOS. By allowing users to completely turn off a core system widget, Android 17 signals a massive shift toward true personalization again.
I clicked it thinking
Years
there's
ago.
I clicked it being like it might still not be there, and I saw that removed from screen.
Wow,
and
that's
I
amazing.
raised both my hands in the air, and Adam was like, "What's going on?" I was like, "She gone."
At-a-glance widget was supposed to be the brain of the Pixel. It was Google's way of saying our AI knows what you need before you do, whether it's a flight boarding pass, a calendar event, or a weather alert. The problem? It wasn't always smart. Half the time, it just stubbornly displayed the date, taking up a quarter of your prime screen real estate. For 10 years, power users begged for a remove button, but Google treated it like sacred ground. Android 17 finally breaking this rule means the design team is prioritizing user freedom over corporate branding. And honestly,
This is life-changing. What are you going to do with all that space? You can put icons
No,
up
I'm
there?
going to leave it as space because it's what
Nice.
I've always wanted it to be. Maybe now actually I can move my clock to where my clock used to always be at the top and kind of spanning across, and I couldn't do that because of at a glance.
Yep.
So now I have it in this weird bottom corner, but
My clock can be anywhere I want it to
can
be.
it can just be free.
But it wasn't just the at-a-glance widget that had the Waveform crew hyped. Andrew pointed out an even more infuriating restriction that Google has enforced for years, the lock on the status bar clock. Historically, if you wanted to move your system clock, resize it, or hide it to create a completely clean, distraction-free status bar, Android simply wouldn't let you. It was glued to its corner. Think about how ridiculous that sounds out loud. We are talking about Android, the operating system built on the foundational promise of ultimate open source freedom. Yet, for years, changing something as simple as where your clock sits required downloading third-party launchers, rooting your device, or running complex ADB commands on a computer. Android 17 is finally giving users the ability to just drag, drop, and customize basic system elements natively. It's proof that Google is finally listening to the minor annoyances that daily power users have been complaining about for years.
As someone who likes just a clean
See a little
background,
bit of wallpaper.
I don't need to have the date that's already on the screen somewhere
As we
else.
said before, poor use of space.
Poor use of
Poor use of
space.
space. But there are a lot of other updates. I know they're not as important.
No.
That's the headliner.
There's some
Not
other.
nearly as important. We got a new floating bubble window thing.
But while Andrew was celebrating the death of locked home screen widgets, David Imel was looking at the bigger picture. Because Android 17 isn't just about cleaning up empty space, it's about changing how we actually use it. And according to David, the real star of the show is the complete overhaul of floating bubble windows.
Android has tried to do bubbles many times. This one is kind of tailored specifically at foldables.
Android 17 introduces a dedicated bubble bar designed specifically for foldables and large screens. Instead of cluttering your workspace, your floating apps now minimize into a clean dock at the bottom of the screen, holding up to 4 active applications at once. But the secret sauce that David points out is the physics. The windows don't just pop open, they glide, they scale fluidly, and they stay active in the background without freezing. It turns a mobile operating system into a fluid, responsive desktop-class environment that genuinely feels ahead of anything Apple is doing with iPadOS right now.
They're on regular Android phones as well. But you can now make any app a bubble, so it kind of just floats above your other apps. And if you are on a large screen device, which is like a tablet or a foldable phone, which because Android is really leaning into foldables, you now have a bubble bar. And I do like that set of words together.
So, is the Waveform crew overhyping it, or is Android 17 actually the best update ever? Honestly, sometimes the best updates aren't the ones that add flashy gimmicks. The best updates are the ones that fix long-standing frustrations and genuinely improve daily usability. Giving us back our home screen real estate while completely fixing multi-window multitasking makes this a massive win.
But I want to know what you think. Are you going to immediately turn off the at a glance widget on your phone, or do you actually use it? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.